with that down, let's move on to this, shall we? Of course, one of the biggest smash hits of the year, Deadpool and Wolverine. We've gone over it a lot. Made over $1.33 billion at the box office, by far the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. Right now, the second highest grossing film of the year, only behind Inside Out 2. And it was beloved by obviously the box office, but it was beloved by fans and beloved by critics alike. It's a great movie. So much fun. Not for everybody, but no movie is. Now, the first time I watched the film, of course, lots of big pops throughout. But that kind of reveal of the others was one of the big ones, right? Because Jennifer Garner comes walking out. Yay! And then Blade came walking out. The audience went nuts. Then finally, after like 7 years, Channing Tatum as Gambit came out. That got a big pop. But at least in the very first screening I saw, the biggest pop, in the other 5 or 6 screenings, the biggest pop was for Wesley Snipes. But in the first screening I saw, the biggest pop was for the last person to get revealed. X-23, Dafne Keen. That was the one that at least in my first screening, got the most people excited and all that kind of stuff. Now, I'm going to give some spoilers about Deadpool. It made $1.3 billion. You've already seen it if you're interested in it. Now, I assumed in the movie, I think like a lot of people, that Gambit, Blade, Elektra, X-23, they all died in the void. They died there, sacrificing themselves for legacy. So that, you know, Deadpool and Wolverine could escape and go save their world. That's. But then he says to Kevin at the end, you know, we had some friends that we couldn't have done this without. And in the last shot of the movie, right before the credits roll, they're all sitting around in Wade's apartment, and Wolverine's there, and so is Dafne Keen. So is X-23. It was heartwarming. It made everybody smile, right? But that brought up a huge bit of discussion. Betcha she's going to be in Avengers. Betcha they're going to have her now in the MCU. Well, maybe not. Because according to Dafne Keen, and she says she's being straight up honest with her, she goes, there has been zero talk about her joining the MCU. This comes to us from The Wrap, who wrote the following. The headline is, Deadpool and Wolverine star Dafne Keen promises she has not been involved in any conversations about an MCU return. Dafne Keen not only got really good at lying about having a role in Deadpool and Wolverine, but she also really enjoyed doing it. But when it comes to her potential future in the MCU, the actress swears to The Wrap that she's telling the truth when she says she hasn't been part of any conversations. She said this, genuinely, I'm not lying. No, I have not been involved in any conversations, she says. Hopefully there have been conversations, but I have no idea. All right. When Logan came out, first of all, a top 3. Is there anybody out there who disagrees that it's a top? I meant whether you think it's number 1, number 2. Is there? I don't think there's a lot of people that disagree. It's probably a top 3 greatest comic book movie ever made. To me, it's just that good. At any rate, one of the most beloved characters, of course, is X-23. Dafne Keen was a revelation in that film. Like, she was so wonderful in it. And so when that movie ended, a lot of people speculated and thought, oh, she's going to get her own spin-offs. And then when Disney bought Fox, everyone thought they're definitely going to be an X-23. Nothing ever happened. Now, Dafne Keen has gone on to have actually a pretty active acting career. We won't talk about The Acolyte, but she's done several really good things. And now she's here. And it just stood out to me that at that last scene, you know, Wolverine says to the TVA, hey, there are some people who we couldn't have done this without. Can you go help them out? And yet, at Wade's place later, right before the credits roll, the only one of that group we see is X-23, Laura. Now, maybe they did get all the rest of them out. Just Laura was the only one to go to the party. That's fine. But I thought it was interesting that they specifically highlighted that she was there at the dinner party. They specifically made sure they highlighted that. Which, I mean, if you're looking at that and trying to make 1 and 1 equal 2, you're thinking, oh, that wasn't an accident. They've got future plans for her because everybody loves her. But She's saying, no, listen, I'm being honest. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. There have been no talks about me coming to join the MCU. And I would say this, and no one's going to like me saying this. Everybody thinks Hugh Jackman is still going to come back as Wolverine more. I've been the only person saying I don't think he is. Now, it's possible that he could. I acknowledge that. 100%, it's absolutely possible. But I really believe that was his swan song. I believe Deadpool and Wolverine was his swan song, just like Logan was supposed to be a swan song. But I think he did that, and I think he's done. I think in that one of those last scenes when him and Deadpool are sitting on the bench eating the last remnants of their shawarma, and Deadpool says to him, I'll see you around, and Wolverine looks at him and says, probably not. Mm-hmm. I think that was him talking to the audience. Now, again, I could be wrong about that. Anyway, the reason I bring that up is because it only makes sense to have X-23 come, Dafne Keen's X-23, if Hugh Jackman is also going to be sticking around, right? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have Dafne Keen's X-23 and not have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. And so I think, again, maybe this is a stretch, but I think her saying, listen, I'm being dead serious with you guys. There have been no conversations about me coming to join the MCU. I think that kind of bolsters my theory that Hugh Jackman is indeed done. I don't think we're going to see him again. Now, of course, again, I'm saying that I acknowledge it's absolutely, this is Kevin Feige. It's possible he could show up in Doomsday. It's possible he could show up in Secret Wars, but I really think that's a wrap. I think that's a wrap. And I think Dafne Keen saying she's done too. And things can change. That's where I think things are at. By the way, there's something wrong about looking at her in that dress. And I still think, when I think of her, I still think of her in Logan. She's a little girl.
Yeah, it was such a shock in the trailer when they finally did that reveal. And you're like, yeah, that's right. People get older. I mean, it's been years, so she wouldn't be a little kid still.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm so used to seeing her as that little kid with the sunglasses on, you know? That's what it's like having kids too. You're just like, why aren't you still a little kid?
Yeah, why? Since when were you taller than my chest? Like, yeah. I mean, anyway, guys. Okay. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Miracle Made. Guys, it's hot outside and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. There are just so many things that make these sheets so fantastic. We already mentioned the self-cooling properties for better quality sleep, but they're also self-cleaning. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. So go to trymiracle.com/Campea. That's TRYMIRACLE.com/Campea to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Campea at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Campea and use the code Campea to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Campea to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Question is for you. What do you think about this? Do you believe Dafne Keen when she says, listen, I'm being genuine with you. There have been no conversations about me coming to join the MCU. And if you do believe her, do you think that speaks to the theory that I don't think we're going to see Hugh Jackman again as Wolverine? Or maybe completely the opposite? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.